Well, the lockdown goes on and on. It's a bit dark in here. Whew. I'll probably be right. Yeah, some of the guys asked me, we were talking boats and stuff like that, they said, how are you finding it? You can't get on your boat. Well, I don't like it because I can't get on my boat, but I mean, what can I do? There's no way around it. The only benefit I've got is the fact that my boat's here. Now, some people do actually have their boat on a pontoon in a marina. Fine, but not fine, because they're not allowed to get to it. They can't get to it. Other people have got this on a trailer in a boat compound. The compound's all chained up. You can't get to it. You know, clubs and stuff like that. So some of the poor guys, you would normally think, right, let's go on, let's paint the boat, we'll change some lights, we'll run the engine, we'll do this. You can't do any of that in a lot of places. You can't do it. But I'm very, very lucky. I've got the boat right outside my window here, office window. So people said, look, run through it, show us what you've got there. And I thought, well, I'm like you guys. I haven't got much more to do, have I? I can't go anywhere. So I'm going to run the engine up, which I normally try and do about once a month. I've got my fuel tank here, just about got enough fuel. Well, I've got enough fuel, I'm not going anywhere. Graeme, you're not driving it down the road, mate. So I'll show you what I do. And we put the muffs on, which are called muffs, like ear muffs, which go round to put the water through, because you can't start the engine without having water going through it. So I do that, give it a run up, and we'll run through some of the bits on the boat. Here we go, here we go. Got my steps still there. Now the other day I cleaned all this and repaired it here. My little marina, but look. It is filthy, so we've had quite a bit of wind go through. And we've got storms that are being forecast for tomorrow and the next day, so I figure I'll run the engine up now and then I can cover it back over. Up we get. Got to clean it all again. So, cool in the garage, always undo the vent here so there's no pressure. You can hear it hiss. Make sure you get this around the right way, and you can hear the pressure of it going in there. And then down here, whew, that pressure's some fumes. You've got the bulb, which has an arrow. It actually, as you pump this, it pumps the fuel down towards the engine. Bearing in mind, I do this every, say, month, 6 weeks, something like that. You wait till the bulb firms up. I can hear it in there. That's it. Now squirting the fuel. Now it's hard. So that's pumped the fuel right to the engine. I can't believe how much rubbish is in this boat from the wind. Main thing, one of the big problems people have, they put the key in, even if you rent boats, and they forget to put this little thing in here. And this is called a kill switch, and it just pops this out like that. It pulls this out, the engine will start. If this happens, that is in, it's plunged in, you can, have you got a hand pull, you can pull away for ages, or you can electric start. It's not starting. Easily to do. Some of the electric motors have a whistle noise, a bell that goes off. There we go, so I'm ready there. But the main thing, we hope, look at the leaves down it. Battery should be okay. We'll try battery one first. We're going to rig up, I'll show you in here. Look. This is, God, it's so good to be in, just inside the junk heap, to be honest. These are the muffs, hose pipe goes on here, and the water squirts out there, so it pushes the water in. I'll peel out the hose, get it down to the outboard, and I'll come back and put the water on. Then I can start the engine after I've got the water on. Oh goodness, I haven't seen the old engine for a while. At least it's still here. The cover I made it myself, didn't get any donations from any of the companies for a nice engine cover, so I made one up out of tarpaulin. ties on with a bit of rope. This is one of our sharking buckets that we've put the mesh bags in with the chum in, and the sharks can't bite at it. That's a different one I've made up there. At the present time, not used by the number of brambles. What can you do? What can we do? Okay, engine's down on tilt. It's down on a small block there. You simply take your muffs here, and you've got vents. You know, other places might be different, other outboards. I'm just saying in mine's a Yamaha. This is where it goes over there. You can do it at the marina should you be there, but I'm not. I do it at home. Always turn the water on and make sure it's firing out here. I don't waste anything. I want a good clear up round here. Put the water. If I get water in there, I'm going to put it on the garden. So, hose pipe on. Let's take the head cam off. So just make sure the inlet pushing the water in is going out and pushing, so you get water out of here, out the back, and round there, you see? That's definitely over there. That's it. Check those. Those are located, look there. You want them sucked on there. Really. Okay. Now we're going to start the engine up. Maybe, if the battery is okay. I've pumped up. This is the way I do it. I go 1, 2. Now, I've got to wait for the water to come out there now. You can see the water's coming out. Now just make sure that jet of water is coming out, and don't walk away. I have made a mistake. I've gone in the garage. I thought I'd give it 5-10 minutes. Come running back, I hear the alarm going off, a bell going off. Don't take it for granted that all outboards have alarm bells or alarms. They might not. So all I'm going to do is give it, let's say 5 minutes, and then I'm going to switch and go on the other back and just give that 5 minutes. It gives the engine a bit of a run, and of course it charges the battery, so I know it's okay. Saving the water in there. Make sure it's all over the lens. Make sure that jet's there. Now if that got really hot, I'd want to switch off. So time wise, 4:30, I'll give it till 25 to 5, give it 5 minutes. They say don't rev them. I've heard people revving them up and having problems. Don't rev them. You're not going through the water, you're just trying to trickle charge the battery a little bit. The thing is, people, I'm standing up here like this. It's sad, isn't it? I mean, I just want to go fishing. I hear the engine going. I want to put the hammer down. I want to get out, go fishing. I want rods in the rod holders. It's just not happening. So I'm going to let that charge up first, and then we'll just do a little walk around the boat, and you can have a look at it. Meantime, I will get the broom out, and I will have a sweep up for you, because I have left this open, having been on it before. Rain forecast tomorrow. I'll probably have to re-tarp it. I really look, the windows, they need a wash off as well. I'll give it a bit of a sweep out while that's having its 5-minute wonder. Right, off with that one. The hose pipe's still running. Switch over, fingers crossed. Jet's still running. Good news, deck's clean. 5 minutes, I'll have the back clean and we'll have a look around the boat. And don't forget, the hose pipe's still on. Turn it off because I'm on a meter. I don't waste all that water. That goes round. It can be used on the garden. Take the muffs off. Dismantle the hose pipe. But remember, you want to put these on the boat. Leave them on the boat, because wherever you go, if you're trailing around like I do, you can either take hose pipe with you, or somebody might give you a hose pipe, you can borrow it and you can flush your engine. So I make sure mine's always up the front on the boat. Now you've used your tank, you can disconnect, but remember to shut the valve, the air breather at the top. And reverse it when you go fishing or out on the boat, because this will be sucking fuel out, leaving a void here of air that will then collapse. and the pressures don't equalise, and then the fuel won't come out, and the engine dies. Very, very common problem. So this one goes back in the garage. I keep everything else in the garage. The seat here, pads for the seat, which I have to wipe down every now and then if it's a damp winter. My box of goodies, which I suppose ought to go through, which goes in there. This is for all strapping down, spare wheel, life jackets, more life jackets. Don't use many of these. Now, this is a handy thing. If I do go on a trip, say I'm going down somewhere like Paul Beagle shark fishing, where I stay on the campsite, they might have a hose pipe. I can clip this on, screw it onto most taps, and that way I can flush the engine. Now look, if you're on a week's holiday, it won't really matter, but you know, it's just going to make the engine last longer. So you might want to consider getting yourself one of those. Got a spare, well I don't take it with me, heavy duty pulley hoist, so I've got the same type of thing there if I do have trouble. I will show you this in that box later on. I've got my cooker, got my gas bottle there, and down here, spare anchors, rope, and over here, spare danforth, because I bought too many danforths. Chain, you can never have enough chain. I like to keep this hole at the back clear, like this, because sometimes you get leaves and stuff in there, and it blocks up. So there's just something, and obviously where the bung would normally go in here, make sure that's clear, because there's always a little bottom edge. I'll show you in there, there's nearly always some residue of water in there. The leaves everywhere. This boat needs using badly. There we go. See, there's those leaves that have come right through. So we poke that through if we can. A lot of the apples have a button just here, so you can run it down. That way you can see. You just rest the outboard on that, the bottom of it, just on the block there, helps support the boat, and then go up, switch the power off. There we go. We're charged up. Key out. Just remember about the little tag bit goes in there. So on the boat here, I made myself a shelf. It's filthy, it's all got to be washed down. A filthy boat, admittedly, is probably a good fishing boat, but this is just dirt. I stick this here. It's got a long old disgorger, a pair of long handle pliers. To get some washing up liquid down here. I've got my Goodnight Vienna stick here, the police baton for putting to sleep anything I want to eat. Spare lanyard ropes for you know, sharp bags and stuff. Always keep one big lead there because I want that for dropping down, say if I'm ground baiting with something. I want easy access. Pair of gloves, again mostly shark fishing. Spare stern rope here. A bit of cauline when I might want to put a buoy down. Anything, any junk, you know. Obviously, the main thing, my nut and my spanner, adjustable spanner. It's pretty well rusted, so it's probably adjusted in the right position. And it is perfectly in the right position. It's rusted in that position. And obviously the bung, the most important thing. And I keep a spare bung in my box of electrics. That's a joke. Hand sanitizers is 20 years old. Okay. Inside with mine, this is a Wilson Flyer 17 foot. I've built a shelf in here, just a wooden shelf with carpet. You can't get enough junk in a boat, can you? More shark gloves, just garden gloves for anything. Tape measure if I'm tagging and releasing whatever, taupe, sharks and stuff like that. Hello mate, how you going? I haven't seen you for a while. No, hello Ted, how are you going? Well, not very well. I've got teddy virus. Oh dear, stay there mate. Don't cough. Radio, in case I've got very cold, insulation blanket there. A very, very large and heavy duty shark, a disgorger about 2 feet long with a V for getting any hooks out. Windscreen washer, a white for the front. More gloves, marigold, spare bags for whatever. What other junk's in here? Spare cap. A spare toilet roll. You never know when you want a toilet roll. That could be worth money in the future if we have another virus. Novelty floats, if you want some novelty floats. Spare gloves, obviously. Spare sun oil. The hand pull cord in case the engine totally craps out. Spare pair of sunglasses. You know, got plenty of sun oil, probably all out of date, but listen, it's better than none, isn't it? Sponge, general junk. These are non-slip pads, and these go, I'll just so you know, I put them up there so you know you don't have stuff flying off. I strongly recommend you do not put mobile phones and car keys up here. Whoosh, off the side they go. That's where I've glued on here this little support edge around there. On my terminals, I always put them in a bag just to keep, in case any huge storms come through. Generally I put a rubber band around them and tuck them around there like that. Same goes for, here you can see I've already done it here for the terminals. For the radio, I've got my drogue here for a celebration of a 700-pound mako shark, a bottle of bubbly, loads of mesh bags, shark bags, and on this one I cut this, I put a little support on the outside edge so I can put all my hand wipe bags, clean ones, not so much hand wipe bags, clean bags, caps, stuff, sunglasses up there, all goes up there. What's in here? Rice makeup? No, loads of tuna lures, going for albacore tuna, and I had to go around the Isle of Wight, the back of the Isle of Wight, trying for white marlin at one stage, and there was indeed one caught, and I think others seen. Not as stupid as you think. Spare seat covers, the cooker goes in under here, flippers and a snorkel. I started adding in case I'm on my own, which I do quite a lot. That's a spare bed chair. Sorry, not bed chair, regular deck chair. I've got snorkel flippers, even as an unswimmer. I wonder if I could make 16 miles back. What do you think? I think not. But if I got a rope around the back of the boat or something nasty, at least I can get over the side and see if I can cut it free. A toolbox under there, the kettle, a saucepan, all the basics. This is my buoy for the ordinary ring, that's what I use. I've got, put those there for now, a spare grapnel anchor here. I wound on, I'm going to call it not disposable, but it's something you want to lose. If you have to lose it, just use 10mm polyprop, you can lose that. A spare buoy here, fenders up here, all basic stuff. Sets of wet gear up there which I never use. And there we go. First aid kit, just the basics in there. There's probably nothing in it, it's probably a load of hooks. No, basic first aid kit, couple of spare batteries. The torch bit doesn't work on this, don't bother with that because you know I'm not doing night fishing too much. And I've got all camera lights anyway. Up there there's like even more mesh bags. Obviously, again, look, easy access is flares, flare kit. Got the flares in there. So easy access, hopefully never to be used. Easy access, first aid. That's about it in there, guys. This is just, here's the tunnels underneath of the cathedral hull, both sides. So there's sort of wasted space, if you know what I mean. So I just screwed through here and glued on here, sorry, not screwed through the boat. I put these panels in there, because look, you go along, you just chuck stuff in there, it doesn't come sliding all the way back. So that's what I do that for. Bundle of electrics, of which I keep well away from. Fire extinguisher. Okay, what else have we got? Just an old net, which I should change for a new one, but I can't be bothered. Tagging stick here. When I tag stuff, quite a long one there, in case I do get a big shark that I'm on my own. I can't get too close to tag it. I like to get them in the boat to tag them and measure them, but if I can't, tag them outside the boat. I made this out of wood. Old spare big shark, lift it a ball gaff. It's that one is a 7699 because it's turned in, not the 7731 big game hook. It's about a 12-0 wire in here onto a rope, so I can just jaw hook the barbs. There is no barb, so it's a release gaff, so I can get a big fish in on my own. Again, it's for fishing alone. Just all stays there. Easy access. Cut holes in this just to slot there, and I just hook my net up there out the way. This, everything goes back where I know it stays. As you can see, I just have a quarter-deck cabin at the forward, so a lot of Wilson flyers, their cabin's here. So they've got bunks either side, as it were, you know, like this. So you can put half a removal van in there. But the trouble is, you can see this is the moulding shape from it. So I will be driving from back here, there, miles away. So a great load of storage space, but not much deck space to move around on. And this I had put on for sunbathing, not so much seating, just for stretching out, waiting for a shark run. You know, lovely. Except I use it for putting tackle on bait. It's like my workbench. Drilled a hole in there, put my shotgun rod holder there. That's one of the best things I had. Two best things I had was a swivel chair like that. Paid too much money for it, like you do when you go to marine people, they'll sell you anything, but it's been very, very good, very strong. And the canopy here, the spray canopy, my goodness me, I'll probably pay 3 times what it's worth. Brilliant. Grab barrel up the top here. Obviously my sounder goes on there. Couple of lights put here. Rarely use them. I'm always terrified of running out the battery, but they run easily. And in here, a jack plugs, you know, for if I want to plug a live bait tank in. Easily, cigarette lighter I call them. So that, guys, is basically it. The only difference being I put these on both sides in case I want to pull the anchor up. And it, you know, obviously it does make a racket and it can chip away the chain coming over the side. So it's a piece of poly pipe there, just split open. I turn it upside down there, look. Probably could have done with something a bit bigger, but it does the job. Oh yeah, down here, what I do is I put this, I don't want it filling up with water, so I put it in the holder when I tarp it up. But down here, we've got, obviously my double batteries over there. I've got my pump here, and the switch here. Where is it there? Bilge pump. Now keep these filters clean, and this can fill up with water up to there before it runs out. So I keep the scoop in here, scoop come pea pot in here, and then I can just sponge the water out, squeeze it in here, throw it over the side. This is for storing at home, don't forget. So the only water is going to go in here because the bung will be rainwater, but the rainwater, I've got a high tilt on it because I want it to come down here. I don't want it sitting up in the boat, so I've got it up on the, you know, quite high on the bow. So again, sponge, scoop, bilge, keep it dry, but if it rains it gets water in it. Just check it every now and then. Rod holders at various different angles pointing out this way if I'm drifting broadside, at an angle if I want to go trolling, and straight down the back here if I want to go down tide fishing. The bonus is up here I've got 2 I put up on the canopy and cut a notch in there so my reel doesn't rock around up there, and these are really good when I get a shark take on those, and the line's way back that way. The noise it makes vibrating in here really, really does wake you up. Up the bow I've got the snatch cable, which I use and release obviously when I've launched the boat, but in case you go down a steep incline, and this belt snaps. So what I do is I wind my jockey wheel up quite high so you can see the fall on the boat there, but to support that I then release the jockey wheel and it rests here on that. I just figure, that's just me, so look, all this is just the way I do it. Don't say that's the way to do it, I'm just telling you this is the way I'm doing it with my boat in my house. I release that so it just doesn't strain the spine in the middle too much. It probably doesn't anyway, but who knows. It costs nothing just to put that jack under there. A tip given to me by Phil Williams, who's a well-known small boat angler, was if you're not using your boat for a while, if you jack it up and put the axle stands under, then release it, it takes the pressure off the wheels here. Obviously got my lock on there, but that's a good idea. So I've got mine on double axle stands as well there. I've had all the bottom reinforced here for trailing. Tying, I put a spare rope from here, which is basically my painter, support one from the bow, and tie it around here. So I've got triple way of supporting the boat when I'm trailing, which I do quite a lot of. I release this when it's actually, you know, on the trailer like this at home. Safe straining, so I've got the belt, the rope, and the snatch case, steel snatch cable, triple effect. And obviously just a shackle there to undo it. I put some carpet on mine, on the 2 runners on the bunks, what they call the bunks that go up under the tunnels, I'll show you. Just here, and I feel that takes a bit of the rubbing when I do a lot of trailing. I've done, God, 5,000 odd miles of this. All greased up and taped up, ready to be used, but I always put a little bit of electrical stretch tape, you know, over the hubcap, end of the hubcap there, because I've had these just vibrate loose and then grease splatters everywhere there, so it just keeps the grease in. I do this on every single trip. Then obviously before I use it this year, I will be pulling off the wheel, checking the tyres, checking the bearings as well. Underneath here, these rollers, apparently there's two types. I've replaced these. You can see that one's perishing already, so I've got to get the boat off at some stage and put probably solid ones on them would be better, I feel. But those, you know, you get a lot of bouncing, a lot of the spine, the boat spine hits this when you're trailing. If you're not trailing your boat too much, it doesn't get bashed, does it? You know, but this, they do split, and I've already replaced them once. Now it looks like I've got to replace them again. I keep here just a spare sawn off aluminium ladder. So if I do want to go up, wash the top, anything like that, I can just go up like this. Watch it doesn't slide, obviously. And it looks like I shouldn't have come up here because there's even more dust up here and bits off the trees that are blowing on, so I've got to clean all that off before I tarp up. In fact, I think I'll do it in the morning. I can't be bothered to do it now. I love sitting up here when you're in a nice quiet shark drift. Not so much bottom fishing. If you're bottom fishing at the back, plenty of rods down, there's plenty of action going on. But when you're sharking, you're just waiting. Just here, it used to be lovely. You're just dozing off here, thinking, I probably won't get a shark today. And the reel here, the big reel, takes off. That is something else. I did have two rod holders up here, one either side. I don't bother with those now because, you know, every time I've got to climb up, and obviously I can go around the back here, look. Grab rail, grab rail, grab rail. Grab rail, grab rail. So that's easy. I can get in, even holding the camera straight in the boat, no problems. But then I'm only a light wispy little creature, so I have no problems. Now there you go, guys. That's briefly just a run around my boat. I will show you. Don't forget the keys, Graeme. Oh yeah, little flotation device here. So if you do drop your keys in the water, it should inflate. They tell me. I will just take and show you my little toolbox of the stuff I take when I go trailing. Right in here. Get out of the way, is where I take this with me. Got my logbook, charts of wherever I'm going, radio, sounder, spare reading glasses, small binoculars, and the keys go in there. So this box absolutely has to go. Yes folks, a spare bung, do not leave home without it. And a spare handheld compass, all basic stuff, you know, but this box is what it's all about. That's what's got to go. Easy to forget something, and that box is the one that catches the fish, really. Okay, trailing box, grease, probably need a new one. That's what it says. A bit of grease there is enough for one trip. Always take this one with me. I've got one in the car, but I've also got a second one. Compressor for tyres, my grease gun, rags, which obviously you need with grease guns, multifaceted old style wheel brace, a can of WD-40, a tow rope for yanking the trailer out, a tow rope for yanking the tow rope out, and a spare rope with all snaps and shackles for yanking out the boat. These are a couple of chocks I use on some places just to chock the trailer down when I'm on my own. A spare set of end caps, odd spare bits of grease there, maintenance spray, dispels moisture in case we have electrical problems, which I don't even want to think about, and then obviously a spare used but still usable, not brand new, pair of wheel bearings and hubs and nuts. That's just in case something bizarre, spectacular happens. I really don't want to talk about it, but you know, strange things happen, don't they, guys? Strange things happen. So that, guys, is pretty well it. So you can see, when you see one of my boat fishing films I've done on my own, you think, wow, that guy's really enjoyed himself. There's a lot more to it. A lot more to it. And then I've got, you know, my tie down gear with webbing straps and shackles and buckles and God knows what else, and bits of carpet so that when it vibrates and rubs all the gel coat off. More spare life jackets everywhere, guys, spare ropes. So that's pretty well it.